Hey everybody, we are live. Hey, Mikey and Chad, I see you. What's going on? Major League Baseball, less than 2 weeks away. I'm Jeff. That's Bill. Doesn't even have to be Bill Jr. today. It can just be Bill because Bill Sr.'s not here tonight, but he'll be back. He'll be back. Bill Jr., how are you? I just called you Bill Jr. after I said I wouldn't call you Bill Jr. How you doing, Bill? How's your week? How's your day? What's going on in Bill land?
I'm doing pretty good. It is hotter than heck down here, and I am super happy that it's not a real feel of 120 anymore. It's only 108, so that's
Only
nice.
108.
Yeah, it's only a real feel of 108, so that's good. But yeah, it's doing good down here. Baseball's getting closer and closer. Was watching some live streams of inter squad games with the Dodgers and the Phillies earlier. It's getting realer. It's definitely getting realer. That's for sure.
Unfortunately, the real field temperature is getting realer too. If you don't know, we are in Texas. If you're watching on the replay, this is on July 14th as we're talking. And I don't live in Phoenix, hallelujah. It was 118, I think they said in Phoenix, but it's hot enough. I love living in Texas except for about 2 months, and it's right now. But the good part of normally this is when I wouldn't go to a game as a Texan because it's just too hot. But now, if we really play, we have a domed baseball stadium that I'm really, really excited to not get to go to this year, but I'll get to watch it on TV. And that's one of the topics I want to talk about. I'm just going to dive in there. Have you seen how some of the teams are selling cardboard cutouts of you that you can put in a seat? If the ball, the A started it, I think. If a ball hits in your seat, they send you the ball. The Dodgers came out with it. I think it's like $299 to be in the home run area or to be in the right behind the plate, so you can see this ugly mug for $299 a home game on the Dodgers. What do you think?
I think it's cool. I think they're taking a spin off of what the Korean Baseball League did when they first started, and they put all the stuffed animals and stuff throughout the park, and they're taking the American spin on it. I think that's pretty cool. That's a lot of money, though. I'm not gonna pay $290 to put myself behind home plate.
To put myself behind home plate on TV? Yeah, I might. I mean, $300 is a lot of money, but it's the cost of going.
If I actually got to sit there and watch the game from there, then yeah, I'm completely down. But put a cardboard cutout, nah.
I know it's hard. I don't know. It's a little weird. I saw that in when the Dodgers did it, they put out an article or whatever on their. I guess it was on their website, and on the comment section, they got blown up by people getting pissed off, as if they're not supposed to try to make a dollar in this economy. In this economy, you need to try harder to make a dollar. You don't have to buy it, people. I think it's pretty fun. I mean, honestly, no, there's no way I would do it. But it's a fun idea to have. I think it's pretty cool. Mikey says go Mets. I don't know. You know what? Yoenis Cespedes apparently is the talk of spring training, at least for the New York Mets. Apparently he's mashing. Apparently he's running. I thought that guy was done a couple of years ago, and it's the right year for him because he could DH as a Met. Have you heard anything about Cespedes?
Yeah, a little bit. I saw him taking some BP and running a couple balls out earlier today on SportsCenter. He looked all right. I mean, he obviously looks a little chunkier than I remember him, but that's to be expected when you're not playing for.
I'm a little chunkier than I remember me, so it is the way it is.
But yeah, I mean, he looked all right. His legs didn't look like they were bothering him too much. I mean, he was taking some pretty good cuts behind the dish. So, I mean, we'll see how it plays out.
He's an amazing. He did. I don't know if BJ Penn once jumped out of the pool on video. Cespedes did that too. That's crazy. And you shared with me, and I went on MLB.com since. Mr. Puig comes to town in Atlanta. Is that right?
Yeah. So very recently, Nick Markakis opted out of the 2020 season. So the Braves, it's not confirmed yet, but the Braves have apparently been talking to Yasiel Puig and to get him in the outfield out there. So it could be pretty interesting in the NL East this year, especially with Markakis opting out. Now, Puig has had issues in the past. So, I mean, we'll see how he fits in the dugout. But
he's a little.
I mean, I think it's definitely worth the risk for one shortened season.
I've always liked the guy. I think his story needs to be a movie. Let's start there. It's an amazing story. If you don't know the story, Google it. It's amazing how he came from where he came from to America to play ball. It will be a movie someday. But he's a hard guy to watch. Hey, Stacy, what's going on? So glad you're here. He, as a Dodger fan, watching him play stupid was rough. Watching Dave Roberts' head explode was rough. But the boy is talented, man. He mashes. He loves his teammates. And that arm is.
He does have a cannon.
Nobody's got a stronger arm than him. I mean, there's some arms that are equal to his, but nobody's arm is better than his. It's pretty amazing. Hey, Mark Hampton in the house. Not only a Braves fan all the way, not only Bill's uncle, but an awesome left-handed pitcher for the Rockies and the Braves. Oh, no, not that one. Okay, well, I'm glad you're here anyway, Mark Hampton. Welcome in. I love that you knew exactly where I was going. Before I said it, you did. I love it.
Yep.
Is that you, chat, or is that you?
It's one of my buddies. He's just being a goofball. He's not.
No, I see Bush League Baseball too. Is that you, or is that?
No, that's my old man in there. He couldn't make it on stream tonight, but he's watching it from afar. He's
love it.
Trying to keep the line in check.
So Bill Senior is in there, and ha, Bill, you can't stop me tonight talking about your stupid Phillies. I thought the Dodgers were supposed to be good this year, Jeff. We don't need no David Price. We don't need no Yasiel Puig. We don't even need 162 games. We just need a fastball in Altuve's helmet flap. How about that? I'll go with helmet flap. How good are they if they get thrown out on the bases by the clubhouse guy? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, yes, I do. This is pretty cool. Let's talk about this. Actually, I think, Bill, you, unfortunately, Senior, were the first person to tell me about this. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let me pull it up. This is a fun story, and I like it. And the clubhouse attendant with the gun shows up, and he talked today. I'll go straight to it. From DodgersNation.com, yeah, one of my favorite websites to troll. I know Bill is on that channel every day, Bill Senior. Dodgers clubhouse attendant talks about throwing out Chris Taylor. Dodgers fans have loved the storylines that have come out of summer camp so far, but none more than the legend of Chico. First of all, I love so much his name is Chico. Chico's bail bonds is the bail bondsman for me. I'll tell you that right now. The clubhouse attendant has made a name for himself by making a few outstanding plays in left field, to the point that Ross Stripling asked Doc, that's Dave Roberts, to keep him in there. I got under the ball and I threw it in. It all happened so fast, is the quote from Chico Herrera. Chico joined some people on the radio, and I won't bore everybody with it. I love this story so much. I've seen the throw. You know what I'm going to say? Hey, Nick Mania Nick, or Movie Mania Nick, what's going on? Disrespect is what I saw. What the heck is he tagging up from first to second on not even a deep fly to left field? Disrespect. I'm glad he got his butt thrown out. You have seen the video, right?
Yeah, I watched it, and it's incredible. And I think it's kind of eye-opening. To me, it reminds me of like halfway through the movie The Waterboy, where like Iowa starts testing out their towel boy at wide receiver, and people are just throwing their clubhouse guys in the mix, and like, hey, this guy might actually have a cannon. So
that one did.
Funny to watch. Yeah, it was great. Chico definitely has a gun.
Only in LA, right? Straight out of Central Casting. And I'm going to say it. I love that his name is Chico. And if you don't know the Chico's bail bonds reference, well, you're just too young for my humor. Mikey says he hates the Phillies. I mean, everybody really hates Phillies deep down, even Phillies fans. I mean, even Santa hates the Phillies.
He hates the Eagles. That's for a different reason, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, same.
I think it grew to all of Philadelphia sports after that one.
Right?
Close to Christmas.
I do get thrown off of his dad because he's a Green Bay fan, which I can't accept. I don't accept, because while I do hate them, I don't hate them like I hate the Phillies in general. But anyway, so there's other big news. A lot of big news. I mean, Puig is a big one, obviously. DeGrom, though, 2 Cy Young years in a row, might not have a 30. Exited with exited the inner squad with back tightness. The Mets in the running, they certainly aren't if DeGrom's not pitching.
I think back tightness being a pitcher, yeah, I mean, I think they're kind of babying it a little bit because it is a shortened season. They need everybody at 100% every single game, so they're just being a little cautious.
12 starts at the most.
Yeah, exactly. So they're just being a little cautious. They want to get everything out of him this year, like every other team with every other pitcher. So I'm not worried about it right now. I would like to see him sit out for a while because, we're going to be playing the Mets a lot this year. It's like a majority of our games is against the Mets. So to not face DeGrom would be nice, but I'm not too worried about it. So,
and I feel like I'm running through the sports baseball headlines pretty quick, but did you ever pitch? I know you played. You played the outfield, played shortstop, right? Did you ever pitch?
Yeah, I pitched a little bit in high school. Tried in college, but I didn't really have the arm strength, especially when I came back from surgery. My arm just wasn't up to it. But yeah, I pitched a little bit. I had a pretty decent forkball. That was about it.
Really? My hands are too small. I can never do a forkball. So I pitched my senior year in high school, but I pitched plenty as when you're a little guy, if you could throw a strike, you pitched, right? So junior high, junior high, laying in there. I'm in practice one day, and Jimmy Jennings. Now, nobody knows Jimmy Jennings anymore, but I sure did. He was a year ahead of me. He was the big stud on the football team. Good guy, friend. I liked him, but he was a big boy, and he hit a line drive at me that, to this day, I swear I would have been erased at that moment had I not got lucky and it hit my glove. Would have killed me. It was just the end of batting practice. Twilight shoots a shot at my face. I get lucky. I should be dead. Tanaka got one to the face this week. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw that earlier in the week. I actually shared it on our Facebook page. That was a pretty brutal hit. Like,
it was a scary one. Like, I've seen some scary ones. That's right up there. I'm amazed he's okay.
He was down on the ground for about 5 minutes. He's lucky it hit him towards the top of his head where it's a little bit harder. If it hits him anywhere in the face, you're talking broken orbital bone. Like, that's a mess down here. But up here, you're probably going to have a mild concussion at the best.
At the worst case,
concussion. But yeah, it's terrible. So I'm glad he walked out of it. I've never experienced that at the pitching end.
That was the closest I ever got. Oh, did you hit somebody?
Almost. So when I went out to Arizona, when I was sophomore or junior in high school, I went out to Arizona, played in Under Armour All-American Showcase tournament thing. And that was before the BB Core bats were established. So back then it was still like that gorilla ball mentality where these balls were flying off bats like trampolines, and it was insane. And I hit a missile, probably 120 miles an hour, back at the pitcher. And when I tell you it nicked his ear, like as soon as I hit it, I didn't get out of the box and it nicked his ear, and I just like froze because I thought I killed hhim. It was horrible. It was so bad. But luckily it didn't hit him, and I ended up at first. So
I don't know. I mean, I coached a little bit, and we had the L screen, whatever you guys call it. We call it the L screen. I don't know what they're really called, but it's a valuable thing. I mean, for me, the one that almost got me was the end of a batting practice at a practice. And this was an inter-squad game. Why didn't they have it up? I mean, I don't know. It could have saved this guy's life. It's pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. It startled me. I've seen some bad ones. I mean, we've all seen some bad ones. I'm picturing one that I remember it hit his head and then it flew into the outfield. And the guy was okay. I'm not remembering who it was, to be honest. But you're right. It just depends on where it gets you. And
another funny story with that. I was my senior year of high school. I was taking BP in the cage, and one of our center fielder, Joey Caravello, was throwing BP to me, and we were like going back and forth, just warming up before the game. And I noticed he kept leaving his head out behind the L screen. I was like, Joe, you need to move your head back. Like, I'm trying to go up the middle. Like, I'm in a little bit of a slump. I'm going to try to push the ball up the middle and just try to hit it as hard as I can right back at you.
And don't make me think about whacking you in the face. Just put your head behind the screen.
Yeah, right? I'm like, please just slide over a little bit to your left. That's all I'm asking. Well, he did a little bit, and I hit a ball off the end of the bat, and it actually hooked around the L screen, caught him right here in the forehead.
Oh, no.
And I stopped again. I was like, oh, you're okay? And he kind of just went, he's like, yeah, I'm good. Well, then his first at bat, he hits a missile off the center field fence and ends up with a triple. I was like, maybe I need to hit you in the head more often.
I was going to say, why didn't somebody do that to me?
Yeah.
Yes, that's crazy. So you have a move, and then you sliced one around it. That's nuts.
It hooked perfectly around it, like a perfect.
Where he was, maybe it would have missed him, right?
Yeah.
I'm freaking out that Mike Hampton's in this chat. I mean, or it's Mark Hampton. I know Mike Hampton, but every time I see it,
Mike.
Exactly. Oh no, in real life, really? Yeah. What are the odds? That's crazy. Anyway, all right. Well, so what else? We got all kinds of other news. I do want to say this. I didn't watch. You and your dad both watched some. Was it KBO? Some Korean baseball. I didn't watch any of it. That's not true. I didn't watch a whole at bat ever through the whole time. Just didn't want to, and it made me mad. I have been watching a little bit of the inter squad stuff, and it does feel right. I mean, even if you got, Chico from Chico's Bail Bonds making the throw out there, it's making me happy. I'm not gonna lie. Is it feeling real to you? Do you think we're having a season? Because before we were getting close, I'm like, oh yeah, sure, we're gonna have a season. Now we're close, and I'm stressing out. I mean, it's a political year. COVID numbers are going nuts. I'm concerned. Like, I don't know how we're playing football. What are you gonna do? Yell, I'm gonna tackle you, and you yell real loud. I don't know how it's gonna work. And in baseball, so many people opt out. We're gonna talk about Buster Posey here in a minute, but let's just get to it. Are you confident we're gonna play? Do you think we have the full season? Where's your brain? I ask this every week because every week it's different.
Yeah, honestly, I am. I mean, with the number of guys opting out, Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit surreal. I mean, I don't blame them. Everybody's got different things going on in their life, whether it's family, personal reasons, what have you. Everybody's life is completely different, and what they choose to do is completely up on them. But I think the owners are over the holdout. So are the players. Everybody just wants to play. It's looking realer and realer, and we're, like 2 weeks away from opening day now. So
yeah, 13 days, I think. Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, I think if they were to call it, now's the time. It doesn't look like they're going to call it. I haven't really seen anything too crazy about it. But yeah, I mean, watching the inter-squad games, everybody's looking pretty good. Garrett Cole's slider is on point.
Yeah.
I saw that the other day. He threw a saucer to the plate.
He's throwing wiffle balls, right? He's throwing
It's nuts. These pitchers are raring and ready to go. They're all up for the sprint, and honestly, I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. I do suspect, I think it's likely, let's put it that way, that it's going to be a high quality. No one's going to be holding back. You just said it. Like, why would you? You got 12 starts. You got 50 starts. You got, 50 times 4? You got 200 at bats, 220 at bats. I mean, you don't have time to just lollygag, as they said in one of the great baseball movies ever. You got to get to it right freaking now. I mean, if you go, 2-7 to start your season, you might be out of it.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, I looked at the schedules, and they only have about 7 total days off through this whole 60-game schedule until the playoffs hit in November. And that's not a lot of time off. So these guys are going to have to be bumping, and the way that they're going to handle rainouts or weather delays, it's going to be made up after the next game. Like, the next game you play them, you're going to make it up after it.
Or they're just going to skip makeups and have, I mean, it might be helpful with 60 games. There's more likelihood of a tie. You get a couple games that don't happen, and it's going to lessen the opportunity to have a tie. So that might work to MLB's advantage.
Well, I mean, according to how they have it set up right now, as long as it goes past that mark to actually be considered a game, like, for the pitcher or whatever, then they're going to count it as a game. But if it gets called before that, then they're going to make it up as much as they can the next available day, which is, it's going to end up being a shortened doubleheader, if you will, after that. But it's definitely going to be interesting. So, and, Mark Hampton has a really good point here. The schedules are pretty brutal, especially for the NL East and the AL East. They're going to be playing each other, and those divisions are pretty brutal. So, I mean, this is the first year in forever that the Braves don't have a game against the Cubs. I can't remember. I think it was like in the 1800s. It's the first time they haven't played each other. I'm insane.
Just glad the Dodgers get to play the Astros. That's all I'm saying.
That is nice. That's going to be nice. They're definitely going to play them.
I can't wait. I bet Altuve asked his wife if he can stay home that day. And I guarantee he won't be wearing a buzzer. But anyway, we'll see how that goes.
They said, no fighting, but who says you can't buzz one past the tower, Top Gun it. Like, hey, I don't care. Just spill your coffee. I want some butts. Like,
I will be disappointed if there's not fireworks that day. And I mean, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm as a Dodger fan, insanely annoyed that 2 years in a row, the teams clearly were cheating. Now we have another year, and it's a 60-game season. We get Mookie, but we get him for 60, not 162. We get Price. Oh, he's going to stay home for the year. Are you kidding me? Like, are we snake bit? And that makes me want to talk about some of the players who stepped away. Buster Posey being the biggest name this week, but for kind of a cool reason. I guess he adopted 2 little people and decided, hey, it's more important for my family. I've got an older person in my family. I got 2 babies in my family. And it kind of goes to what I was saying on this show a couple times. If you're already financially set, whether you feel like there's a huge risk or no risk, why do you play? Like, why do you play? Especially Buster. He's got some rings. He's not going to get one this year. I just thought, and I still am concerned, that more and more people might start doing this. I don't know why a Buster Posey would even consider playing outside of the love of the game, but it's a different time, man. It's a different time. Do you think we're going to get a lot more, as I guess where I'm going with that?
I don't think we're going to get a lot more, but I think as it gets closer to it and the players are figuring out, like, hey, this may or may not be getting worse in certain states. There's going to be some more for sure. It's not going to be the end of it. But, I don't know. It's hard to tell, but I don't think it's going to be that many more players.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I don't know. I'm feeling more and more negative the closer we get with both baseball and football, but I just think especially for those guys who are at the end of their career and who have already made some bank. Why wouldn't you just stay home with the wife and the kids? Why wouldn't you just go to the Caribbean and hang? I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I mean, I love the game. I know they love the game, but come on, right? I don't know. And it really makes me think about who's going to be the MVP, what players are on their contract year. Will it matter if you have a great 60-game run? Do the ownership into next year, will they consider that a big year? I mean, Justin Turner and guys like that, who are need for another contract to have a big year. Will it matter if you have a 60-game run? I mean, you can hit 280 over 162 games and have a 350, 360. I was talking about batting average, obviously. Run through 60 games. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think the stats will carry over? Will it even matter? Am I getting way too far ahead of myself because we're talking about 2021? We don't even have 2020 yet.
Some guys who won't, some guys who will. Like Justin Turner, I think he's kind of one of those precipice guys to get a big deal.
He could be the MVP, and he could have a bad year because it's a 60-game thing. And I wonder if it'll matter.
I think if he does a good 60-game run, it could help his odds of getting a bigger deal coming down the road. Because especially talking about the Dodgers, they know what he's about.
Sure.
They've had him for a while. So if he has a good,
they don't really have a spot for him beyond, because you got Gavin Lux and you got the other kids. I'm not going to think of his name, and the big contract versus the little contract, but.
Yeah, but his 60-game run here could put pressure on the Dodgers to get him either a bigger deal or other teams, and he could play off other teams and drive up his asking price. So,
yeah,
honestly, yeah, it's going to be a big 60 games for some of these guys. I know there's at least 7 players that are coming up on the free agency bubble here that have a real chance of making or breaking their deal next year, as opposed to, what they do, batting average, RBIs, hits, all that.
Sure.
So,
I know when the Dodgers were hoping to get Anthony Rendon, who decided he didn't want to be in LA, but he was okay with Anaheim, Turner said, hey, I'll play second. I love that. I think he's a good teammate, but I also think that was about marketability for next year. Hey, guys, I can play third, but I can also play first. I can play second. A lot more value there, especially with a kid like Gavin Lux in the Dodger system. But he's just the one I'm talking about. There's lots of guys like that. And I do think it's neat. On the positive side of it, a guy like Yasiel Puig probably doesn't have a spot if we don't have this crazy time. Maybe by now somebody got hurt, but with more and more people opting out, you mentioned Nick Markakis, it opens up a spot for guys like that. I do think that's fun. I see your dad talking about Hamels. I'm assuming he's talking about Cole Hamels.
Yeah. So Hamels is out. He got tricep tendonitis, as Mark Hampton commented down there. So I mean, that's stuff's going to happen. I mean, if you look at it, Aaron Judge is still kind of struggling with minor injuries. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's going to be a rough one, especially with coaches trying to use this sprint time. It's going to be like the NHL, like grind it, just try to make it to the playoffs, and then it's a whole new ball game. Like anybody's got a shot at that point. So, yeah, I mean, it could definitely happen. The Braves are looking strong in the NL East this year if DeGrom stays out, which I mean, who knows? And then, again, they're going to have to keep playing the Yankees, the Red Sox. So the NL East and the AL East is going to be slaughtering each other. And when it comes to go to the playoffs, they're going to be wore out by the time they have to play the Central and the West. So,
and the Braves have a solid roster. I mean,
they really do. If they add Puig and he steps up,
go ahead.
No, I was just saying, if the Braves add Puig like for real, and it's like set in concrete, and he steps up and has a big run, which he definitely can. He's an explosive player.
I like Markakis, but Puig can he could outplay him, let alone get to that level. I mean, I would rather have Markakis, but it's not that far off, is what I'm saying.
He's an explosive guy. He could definitely step right in there and match like 15, even 20 home runs in 60 games if he really just that's all he focuses on.
And you're not going first or third. You're not going second to home on that guy, liner to right. So there's value there too. That's good stuff. You know what we haven't talked about? We haven't talked about the channel. Please subscribe. Bush League Baseball. We're going to be doing this all week, all year, once a week during the baseball season. It's going to be right here. I am going to start doing a baseball show on my channel too, in an attempt to grow this show, frankly. And I'll be doing that tonight for the first time after this. So it's 9:24 Central Time here. When this show's over, we'll probably end 5 minutes to the hour or so. And then if you want, we'll continue the conversation over on my channel. Just try to bring some of those people over here over the next couple of weeks as we get closer to opening day. Oh, and we should talk about the Facebook page. You want to tell them about where they can find us on social media?
Yeah, so Facebook, that's the easiest way to find it. Just search Bush League Baseball. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, everything, really. My dad's got that set up pretty well. But I post stuff here and there, especially when there's breaking news like Markakis opting out and the Braves looking at getting Puig. I posted that probably 20 minutes after it aired on MLB.com. So if you're looking for up-to-date news, like real current news on baseball, I'm sharing it as soon as it comes out. I get the breaking news updates and I put it up there immediately. I share funny memes too with everything that's going on, especially when the stuff happened with the Astros. I was sharing a whole bunch of funny stuff on them, and I think Jeff's right. Like with the first game the Astros have, yeah, Ghost Rider, the pattern is full. Yeah, that's okay. I'm buzzing the tower. So I think it's going to go down.
What are the odds that Altuve doesn't start game one?
I think he's going to start just because he's got to. It's only 60 games. If it was a 162 game season, he might not start game one, but you can bet your bottom dollar that the first at bat he sees, he's going to get one slider that doesn't slide, and it's going to end up, high and tight.
I don't know how, if you're the pitcher, to open the season against Altuve, or I guess it'd be Springer actually, when Springer's their leadoff hitter. But Altuve would be hitting 2 or 3. Did Altuve, whatever. When Altuve comes to bat in the first inning, if he doesn't get buzzed, whoever the pitcher is, I don't think we'll ever live that down. I don't know. I'm probably making too big of a deal of it. But do you think Springer gets buzzed? Because, I think Altuve and Bregman are the two that people are maddest. And Correa are they're the maddest at.
So one of the four is definitely going to get buzzed. That's why, Vegas has the odds going. And the last time I looked, I think Altuve was in third. He was coming in like 30-1 with getting buzzed. And Springer and Bregman were up a little higher. I think Springer was at 7-1 and Bregman was at 10-1 odds of getting buzzed the first game. So
but Springer's the leadoff hitter, so that's about that, right? Like
yeah, exactly. So we'll see where it goes. There's going to be a lot of crazy bets this year in Vegas and throughout the baseball gambling world, but I just want to see it. I want to see these guys like get some sort of punishment. Mark commented earlier on. He said the Braves are still paying for international funds earlier 5 years ago, and the Astros, they don't get really anything in comparison. Like,
nuts.
Come on, like that's insane.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was that Mark. I totally agree. He also says Puig probably won't even start Acuna and probably start off the Ender. And Riley, yeah, I don't know why I picked the Ender, the harder one. Riley. So who's at? Who's at third? Is Riley not going to be at third? Who they have at third?
So they got rid of Donaldson. He's gone. They couldn't pay him on. Like me and him been talking about that before. They should have just ponied up the dough and paid him because they would have saved him money. And
that was because of Riley. Though Riley's a third baseman. Aren't they moving him there?
And they'll have Ozuna in the outfield too. So Puig could be the DH. You could pop him in there as a DH. Like that would be incredible.
Yeah, he's going
to DHs. So
it might be 4 outfielders, 1 DHs, one kind of that kind of thing.
Yeah, it could be.
Ozuna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, you're right. Wow.
Yeah, the Braves are looking pretty strong, for sure.
That's a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
Who's hitting in front of Acuna? Because that guy's going to have a good year.
We've been talking about the lineup. I'm sure he'll comment that here in a minute, what we think the lineup's going to be. And with Freeman, Acuna, and all those guys, Ozuna, it looks insane.
You got Albies, who's a stud. Freddie Freeman didn't – I don't know, whatever. That guy mashes. I could be a good year to be a Braves fan. Although everyone's mad about, should we just go there? I'm going to talk about the Ranger thing in the, at the end of the show over on my channel. We're going to talk about the Rangers because I'm here. I'm a Dodgers fan, but I root for the Rangers because I'm local. But the Redskin thing is big. We've got the Cleveland freaking Indians in Major League Baseball. We've got the Atlanta Braves where if they're having a good season, all you hear is, oh, Florida State, Seminoles, and Atlanta Braves. I don't know why that works out that way, but do you think we get to that point in Major League Baseball where we start talking about the Indians and the Braves, and maybe we're mad at the Trolley Dodgers, and maybe we can't like Francisco and Priest, so the San Diego Padres? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Any comment on that?
Yeah, it's all up in the air. Honestly, I have no idea what the season's going to bring, but anything's possible. For real.
As soon as we play,
anything's possible.
I totally agree, but I think just by playing, people will start to shut up. I really do. I've said this before in some of my other shows, and I really, really mean it. Disney opening, baseball opening, NBA opening, getting some normalcy back We come home from work and we don't have to watch who shot who today, who's mad at who today. Have something positive, have something fun, have something taking our mind off of all the negative. It's going to go a lot of way to healing a lot of things, including, well, I mean, the Astros have already gotten a pass, if you ask me, but that kind of stuff. And I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if the Indians. I think the Redskins name change. If that's the thing, how do we ignore the Indians? That's just so blunt.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. And then the Braves, even.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think about it. I mean, these have been the team's names since they started. Like, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, are the Indians going to switch to something more Cleveland related, or the Redskins going to switch to the Washington Warriors? Who knows? I mean, we'll see. They definitely said that they're not going to be called the Washington Redskins anymore, and they're going to have a different logo. But we'll see what happens.
Hey, Riley. So I've said this on the football stream. We do a football show on Thursday nights over on Pete McDevitt's channel, NFL Watch Party, and I shared this. Hey, Lingerers, what's going on, my man? Hope you're doing good. I actually think it's a good idea. If I was the owner, I would go with this, and I wouldn't go with this necessarily because of the mob, but I would as a marketing ploy. You're always going to have the Redskins merch that people are going to want. The old schoolers are going to want it. Some of my favorite jerseys are like, I'm a Chargers fan. They're the old powder baby blues. Those are sweet. Those are the best jerseys in sports, if you ask me. I think it's like the Oregon Ducks. We've talked about this too. They have a new jersey every freaking Saturday. I think it can really make this a positive. Whatever they call themselves, the Washington whatevers, everybody's going to want the new stuff, and there'll be people who want the old stuff. That's a win to me. I just think you can play this off and do it right, and you can make some more money. And in this time of nobody in the stands, doesn't it make sense? I mean, merch is merch is merch.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense to have a little bit of fresh blood coming in as far as merchandise. And you're 100% right. People are going to want the old stuff. People are going to want the new stuff, especially if they make it something cool and also keeping the same tradition as, the Redskins or the Indians or the Braves. If they keep the same color scheme or like that same sort of format and change it up a little bit and update it, then yeah, people are definitely going to want to buy it.
I don't know. Do you have any ideas what the Redskins are going to name themselves? And more importantly, what would you do if you're the Indians and the Braves? The Indians, go rock and roll, man. Cleveland, something rock and roll, rockers. I don't know, something. I mean, maybe not John Rocker, but
he was crazy. You remember him? He was the inspiration for Kenny Powers, the Eastbound and Down HBO show.
I don't know if it's inspiration as much as actually that guy.
Yeah, they tried to model Kenny Powers as much as John Rocker as they possibly could, and it ended up working out pretty good. But yeah,
yeah, John Rocker.
I think the Redskins need to go something like short to the point, like Stephen A. was saying. The Warriors, I could go with it, but I mean, they really kind of need to go with the HR department and see what'll fit in.
If they go with the Warriors, people will say, "Oh, that was not far enough away." I think they need to go, dare I say, off the reservation on this one. I do think that fits well here, and just like you can't have the Washington Nationals, but you can. Why wouldn't you? For the Rams, the Giants. We have I don't know. To me, you go Washington Nationals and you guarantee you can't have anyone bitching and moaning. I would be boring.
You could go that route, but what was in the movie The Replacements with Keanu Reeves where he played quarterback? What was the name of the team there? The Sentinels. You could go Washington Sentinels.
What is the name of the Washington team that the Globetrotters trounce every week?
Oh, man.
They're Washington too, though.
I don't remember their name at all.
I don't remember either. You could go
if they went with the Sentinels and going with that movie, the Replacements, the Washington football team, that'd be pretty neat.
I think there's a lot of opportunities, but who knows? Someone has trademarked a bunch of possible. Oh yeah, I bet that's funny.
I saw that he trademarked like 40-something possible names. I think it ended up being like close to 45 possible names, and he's just squatting on them to get a buyout.
Interesting. How do you trademark a thing?
It's like a copyright. You have to buy the rights for it, and then nobody
fill out a form and pay the dollar.
Yeah, it's kind of like website names. If you,
I was going to say, like you read my mind. It's like a domain name.
Yeah, it's like a URL. It's same exact concept. You can.
It's funny. So my name is Jeff Bates, but there's a country singer named Jeff Bates, and I just recently looked, and it's actually available, and it's like $200 or something, and it hasn't been available my whole life. But I didn't buy it. I bought Jeffrey Bates because $9 versus $250 or whatever. But still, that's interesting. There's no doubt that the Redskins and Dan Schneider would be doing that. But back to baseball, I don't know how the Redskins changed their name and the Cleveland Indians don't. I just don't know how that doesn't become a fear. And if that happens, I think the Braves fall too.
Yeah, it's a domino effect. If one team goes, then the rest will go. I mean, they were talking about doing this years ago, if I remember correctly. And nothing ever came out of it, ended up getting pushed to the wayside. But now the Redskins are changing their name. I think everybody else is going to follow suit here fairly shortly if they get pressured enough. So we'll see.
Ooh, God, there you go. The Lingerers wants to go back to the old school name, the Spiders. Well, what did Cleveland have was that the Negro League's name? Why do I know that name? Where's my brain going on that? I feel like I've seen the Cleveland Spiders. What is that a thing? I don't know. I mean, it might be cool. I mean, where were the Grays? I think about the old Negro League jersey. I mean, Josh Gibson was on the Grays. That might be sweet. That might be a way to go. And I'm not even trying to be political right now. I love the history of baseball. I love Negro League baseball histories because I like baseball, right? Listening to Buck O'Neil talk about baseball, one of my favorite things to ever do, right? Josh Gibson, considered one of the great players ever. It might be topically the right time to do that. May they be, and I'm talking in baseball here, may somebody take the Grays name? That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet if they go with the local Negro League team names. So that, like,
I mean, if Cleveland,
I'm on the same page with you, like 100%. Like the history of baseball, and yeah, was it completely messed up that's how it was back then? Yeah, it was, but we corrected the mistake and we went on from there. But that's why you teach history, so you don't do the same mistakes again. So you have to know where you've come from. That way you don't do it again. So yeah, I mean, oh, there we go. Lindry Spiders was Cleveland's first name from.
I knew I'd seen that before. I don't know.
That's pretty cool. Didn't know that.
Very cool. That is very cool. I love that stuff. Anyway, good stuff. So again, get over to Bush League Baseball on Facebook and all the social media spots. Make sure you give a like over there. They do a great job posting great baseball fun and informational things. And again, this show will be a weekly show. Even if we don't have baseball, we'll do it. I mean, we've been doing it every week. We missed last week. Totally my fault, by the way. I had a family thing. But regardless, we'll be doing this every week moving forward, with or without baseball. With that, is that a U2 song from the 80s, With or Without Baseball? I think it is. Anyway, so please subscribe, stick around. And again, when this show's over, we're going to go an hour, so we'll go another 20 minutes or so. I'll be going another hour on my channel, Dole with Dad, in an attempt to get some more people over to this show. And we'll do that. I might do that throughout the year. We'll see. We'll just see how it goes. The Lingerers pops in, makes me think about this. And frankly, I've just got you. I've got people in chat and I got you. I'm going to just ask you flatly. I planned a Disney YouTubers Fantasy Baseball League. I had 20 yeses. We had 20 freaking people who either had a podcast or a YouTube channel that was Disney-based, Disney-related at least, in my Fantasy Baseball League. Griswold, the family in the house, what's going on? And I was really excited about it this year. And then we didn't have a season. Lingerers actually sent me a message, I think it was yesterday, might have been the day before. Are we doing the Fantasy League? And I've been annoyed, and I haven't even let myself think about it. What say you? Do you play fantasy baseball? And this is for people in chat too. And will you be playing this year? I feel like I don't want to because I don't want to go in through the work and get burned and then not have a season. But then I'll be pissed if I don't do it and I'm missing out. I want to hear what you have to say. And everybody in chat, what do you guys think? Are we playing fantasy baseball this year? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, for me, I've been looking forward to it since my dad asked me if I wanted to be in this.
Are you talking about the league that I'm talking about?
Yeah, the YouTube Creators League. I've been looking forward to it the entire time. I haven't had the opportunity to play fantasy sports in years because I've been, to Iraq twice in the past 4 years. So that's right there. That's 18 months gone.
It's a weird place to vacation, by the way. You need to go somewhere a little safer, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's about the same temperature-wise as Texas, but yeah, the safety aspect isn't quite there, as well as the internet. So I haven't had enough time to, manage my rosters and keep up with everything with work, and then how often the internet goes out. It was so bad. So I was really looking forward to doing this year.
Are you still?
What's that?
Are you still looking forward to it, or is it like,
No. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I really want to do it. I think this year will be even cooler, if that's how I want to word it. Even more interesting than previous years, because you 162 games, you got to keep up with everything, and now this is like a sprint. Like it's going to be super condensed. It's going to feel like a mix between NHL fantasy and NFL fantasy. It's going to be
about football is you have to make your moves once a freaking week. In baseball, it's just more. It's just
every day. It's every single day you got to make your moves. That's why it's going to be a mix in between the NFL and like how NHL fantasy runs, because of how often they play too.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be pretty cool. I finally had the time to do it, so I really want to keep doing
it. I needed that. I needed to hear that, because I honestly can't tell you why I've been I don't want to, but I've been I don't want to. It's just I just feel like you put in the effort and they don't play. Depression's not the right word, but it's something related to it. I hate. Who took my spring? Where did it go? What? April and May and June are awesome because I come home from work and I do the family thing and I do dinner and I do a little work on the computer, and then I sit down, usually at 11 p.m. my time, and I turn on my Dodgers because I'm a Dodger fan in Texas. They're usually 81 games in LA and a bunch of other games, away games in California. I get about 130 times a year or so that they've got a late game. And so I pop it on, I enjoy it. And they stole it from me, and I'm pissed off about it. I'm not going to lie. So I don't know why I've been pouting, I think, a little bit. But that's good to hear.
That in between of depression and
anger.
Anger, yeah, exactly how I would put it.
I'm not sure who I want to punch in the neck, but somebody's out there, and they definitely need one.
Yeah, I definitely know exactly what that's like. You're not knowing how much you miss something until you can't have it anymore. It's like the first time I deployed, that's how it was. Like, oh man, I need air conditioning. I miss air conditioning.
I totally bet. I appreciate what you do, man. Those of us who stay home, those people like you go and do what you do in hellholes. Sorry to sound like an orange-haired guy that people are mad at right now. I'm glad I'm not doing it, and I appreciate you doing it. But that does help me. I'm not gonna lie. I guess I needed the lingerers. You stepped up to make me even think about it a little more. And my initial was, I don't want to, man. But I know I'll have fun. I think what I do, I have to decide this weekend, right? Because this weekend will be about 10 games away. I think we gotta have a draft pretty freaking fast.
Yeah. I think if we push it up to maybe like a week away, we'll be good for the draft. I know.
If I just reach out to those 20 teams and I say who wants to play, even if only half play, we got enough.
Yeah, we still got, if half play, we still have like 10 at least, right? So I think it'd be good. But there's 3 with myself, you, and my dad for sure that are going to do it. So I think we'd have enough. So pick all Dodgers.
Griswold just said they'd play. So I think my internet stinks. Am I breaking? I'm connected. Are we all good on your guys' end? Because I see my breaking up.
Oh, yeah, I'm good. It's coming through a little choppy. I think it's just a little relay issue. Well, I think we can fight through it.
Okay, good deal. I don't know. It looks like it's on my end, but I'm all plugged in. What's up? Anyway, so back to the baseball news. Can you hear me good? Should I keep going, or should I shut up and let you?
Yeah, I can hear pretty good. But why we let this lag switch out? I actually found something that's pretty substantial here. It's an article on MLB.com about opening day starters and every team's potential or already slated starter. So I'll run through that a little bit while we work through this little
laggy
that the mirror said. Yeah, sorry. I'll run through this real quick. So it's going through every single MLB team and who their
what's going on here
or potentially already is. So for the Diamondbacks, they haven't announced yet, but their prized offseason pickup, Madison Bumgarner, is obviously presumed to be the favorite, and that's going to be a good pickup for the Diamondbacks, is having Matty Bum out there. So I'm looking forward to see what he does out there, if he kind of reinvents himself a little bit. I know he's kind of gone by the wayside here out in the West. I think this move is going to end up being good for him. The Braves have already slated Mike Soroka, if that's what you want to call him. I can't remember how to pronounce his name. It's Mike Soroka. He's got a second place finish in Rookie of the Year voting and sixth place finish in Cy Young voting in 2019. And he's, opening day starter in 2020. So that's going to be exciting for the Braves. He's got a young pitching staff, and he's got the lineup to back him. So he can definitely do a lot of damage in that department. For the Orioles, left-handed pitcher John Means. Manager Brandon Hyde told reporters, including MLB.com's Joe Teresa, that on July 10th, Means will be the team's opening day starter. Southpaw threw 155 innings with a 3.60 ERA last season and was the AL Rookie of the Year runner-up. Means will be Baltimore's fifth different opening day starter in the past 5 years, joining Andrew Kashner, 2019, Dylan Budney, 2018, Kevin Guzman, 2017, and Chris Tillman. Tillman is the last pitcher to start consecutive opening days for the O's in 2014 to 2016, but Baltimore will open up the season in Boston on July 24th. But, the Astro gods put the whammy on Jeff's video. That's a good one, Dad, yeah. I don't know. I'm just going to keep rolling with the punches here. He'll hop back in here fairly shortly, and I'll just keep going down with the list, and everybody in chat, let me know what you think of these pitchers as I'm reading them out. So we just went over the Orioles, who, like I was saying, is going to play the Red Sox Game 1, July 24th. They haven't announced their starter yet, but left-handed pitcher Eduardo Rodriguez is away from the team after testing positive for COVID-19. So Chris Sale will also miss the season with Tommy John surgery. It'll probably end up falling Nathan Eovaldi. So they're going to be hurting starting pitcher-wise. There's Jeff back again.
I don't know what that was about. I unplugged and plugged in, and I don't know. I must have missed something. But I'm clearly back now, so.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, my back is a little sore from carrying the show while you were gone, so I'm going to try to massage this out real quick while I read off the rest of his names. I just went over the Diamondbacks' possible starters, the Braves, Orioles, and then the Red Sox with, Eduardo Rodriguez being out, Chris Sale being out, so they're going to have to go with Nathan Eovaldi.
Yeah, well, Eovaldi was a stud 2 years ago, but he wasn't those guys.
He was. I mean, this could be his year to shine. And with those two guys out, he really needs to step up big in order for the Red Sox to have a shot, especially against the Yankees. They're going to have to play, 10 games against them, and then the NL East, they're going to have to play a bunch of games against the NL East teams. So he's going to really have to step up this year.
That lineup in New York is stacked.
I know. It's insane. They're going to have to face New York 10 times, that lineup, and then they're going to have to face the Braves lineup as well, and that's about a third of their season. So the Red Sox are definitely going to be struggling.
You're right. That's amazing. Think about that. Yeah, I mean, if you told me the Yankees would have the MVP this year, and I could bet on it, I still don't know who I would take. I mean, who would you take
for MVP?
For if you knew the Yankees, if you knew the AL MVP was going to be a Yankee this year, there's still 5 names. You still don't know. I'd put my money on Gleyber Torres, and that's not the first name that pops in people's head.
Yeah, I'd go with Torres because he seems to be the most healthy. I mean, if Judge can stay healthy, then it could be either one of them. But if they don't, if Judge
DJ could have been the MVP last year. Oh, and by the way, they got Garrett Cole, who apparently again is throwing wiffle balls. In my dreams, I didn't make a wiffle ball do what he does with the real ball. So yeah,
it's nuts. And then, like I said, the Red Sox are screwed. Like, I 100% agree with you, especially with them having Sale out. I mean, yeah, he didn't have the greatest year last year, but him missing this shortened season, is it going to hurt him in the long run? No. Is it going to hurt the club this year? 100% it's going to hurt.
I agree.
The starting pitchers are really lacking. They got Eovaldi, and that's pretty much it. So their bullpen is going to have to step up.
With Erod out, I don't know that I know another starter for them. I mean, maybe if I think hard, but off the top of my head, I don't have one popping up.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I'll keep going with the list here. But all right, now we'll go on to the Cubs. They haven't announced yet. Right-handed pitcher Yu Darvish, Kyle Hendricks, and then John Lester would, all be great picks. I don't know who I would go with out of those 3.
I would go with you. Did you see his end of the last third of the season last year? It was Garrett Cole-like. It was that good.
Yeah, he has that. He can just throw that Frisbee up there and nobody's touching it. If he has a good next 13 days in these inter squads, and then they have, their little team-on-team scrimmage, I think he should be their starter, but that's what it's going to depend on the next 13 days, how they feel going into it, and if they're throwing absolute saucers up there. So all 3 of them be good picks. So, yeah, Yu Darvish if he's on, he's filthy. He doesn't have the pop, but yeah, he's got the accuracy for sure. All right, on to the White Sox now, going to the other side of Chicago. They haven't announced it yet, but Dallas Keuchel is the veteran out there with the opening day start experience, but Lucas Giolito is the staff ace. So I'd go with Giolito, honestly. He is a young, filthy right-handed arm, and he's only going to get better.
He's a
Dallas Keuchel, he's good. He does have the experience, but I don't think he's going to have the same years he had a couple years ago with Houston. Honestly, I know.
The White Sox are interesting. They could have a under 500 year, and they could win the division, and no one would be surprised either way. That's an interesting call.
Yeah, with the Central there, like they could make it in. They could surprise everybody. I mean, like I was saying before, this is a grind. As long as you make it to the playoffs, anything could happen at this point. Like
the Twins look real good. The Indians don't look as good. They kept Francisco, but I don't think they're there. We'll see.
Yep. All right, on to the Reds. Right-handed pitcher Sonny Gray had a breakout 2019 season and has been rewarded with the opening day start in 2020. Reds manager David Bell named Gray the team's opening day starter on July 8th, according to David Jablonski of the Daytona Daily News. He's 1-0 with 14 scoreless innings and 2 career opening day starts, both with the A's in 2014 and 2015. This is another young right-handed arm. I mean, he's not young anymore, but he's hitting his prime now. I've
always loved that guy. He had some bad years with the Yankees, and that's what everyone remembers, but I've always loved him. I wanted him on my teams, I'll tell you that.
I think when he had those bad years and now he's moved to the Reds, I think he's starting to finally find his stride and reinvented himself a little bit, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
And the Reds look good. Like the Reds are ready.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they got a lot of good players. Remember when Arroyo, wasn't it Bronson Arroyo?
Right, I love that guy.
Just smash home runs for him, his massive leg kick, and then he'd come into the back.
I couldn't do that at all ever, and he does it on the mound throwing strikes. It's crazy. He's a neat guy. I'm a big fan of that guy, actually.
Yeah, I loved his flow. He was always rocking. He was like one of the original baseball flow guys brought over from lacrosse.
Lacrosse talk. I like it.
Yeah, sorry. I like to bring in a lot of different sports. I play a lot of different sports, and like I'm going golfing tomorrow. I bowl. I do everything. So I'm jack of all trades, master of none. So
I love talking about Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer's filthy. Trevor Bauer's going to be a Dodger. He already said so. I can't wait for that. Yeah, though. I mean, Sonny Gray's pretty good. Anyway, keep going.
All right, on to the Indians. So we were just talking about Cleveland. Right-handed pitcher Shane Bieber was named the team's opening day starter back in spring training, and he will still get the ball when the shortened season begins. And Bieber broke out with a 3.28 ERA, 259 strikeouts last year, earning him fourth place finish in the Cy Young. He's the first pitcher other than Corey Kluber to start the season opener for Cleveland since Justin Masterson in 2012 and 2013. And they're going to play the Royals opening day on July 24th. So that's another young kid. He can send them. So yeah, the Indians, I mean, they don't sound on paper like a strong team, but they're going to become a strong team very shortly.
I don't know. I think they might be going the other way. I don't know. Ramirez is weird. He's an MVP or he's not. The roster doesn't look like the same. I think Francisco Lindor is leaving. I do love the Francisco reference in the chat there, but I think if it's not this year, it's not happening because Francisco Lindor is they're not getting paid for that guy. He's just poofing away unless they make a trade.
Yeah, I think that they're slowly starting to come back up. Like I think they're at the bottom of their little lull here since Sizemore and all those guys left, and they had that one run a couple years ago. I think they're going to start building back up throughout their minor league systems, which again, that's going to hurt them this year because there are no minor league systems. So we'll have to see.
So how do you trade if you're going to trade Lindor? Who you trade him for? You can't get prospects, or you can, but they're on the beach. I don't know.
Put him on a retainer. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, on to the Rockies. They haven't announced it yet, but either John Gray or German Marquez is likely to get the nod. So Marquez, he's another filthy slider pitcher.
Last year was ugly, but the year before was pretty dang good year.
Yeah. John Gray, I mean, either one of those, it'll have to depend on what they do in the next 2 weeks here. All right, on to the Tigers. They haven't announced it yet, but Matthew Boyd is presumed to be the opening day starter in Detroit. That's the team that, I don't think they're going to do a whole lot. I've been watching a
The
couple of
thing about them is Daniel Norris, because he's a lunatic.
The only good thing I saw out of their inter-squad games was the catcher cam that they posted on MLB's website. That was the only good thing that I saw.
I didn't see that, but I'm in on that. That sounds cool.
I honestly, break off this a little bit, I think they should make catcher cams a part of the broadcast. Like, that is the best view in the house.
The only reason I like the one season they made me catch, well, the one season they made me get hit by the pitcher every pitch because I couldn't catch very well. It was fun, man. It was a lot. I wasn't good at it, but it was super fun. It would be a great angle. I'm with you on that. I love that.
Yeah, like if there's a questionable call or some guy gets rung up, you cut to that real quick and hit the replay.
Though it's right. I mean, you see it all in the. I mean,
it is incredible. I shared MLB had I think it was the Pirates or somebody, but whoever, one of the teams posted a video on MLB, and I shared it on our page today. And some of these like swings, that like how you're seeing the game from that view, just how quick that ball gets there from the pitcher's hand it puts it in perspective.
Respect for the great pitchers would be another level. I mean, the movement of the ball, the preciseness of the location, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's just great. All right, down on to your beloved Houston Astros.
Yes. They need some padding right here, and I will be happy.
All right, so they haven't officially announced their star yet, but if it's not going to be Verlander, then it's going to be Greinke. So both of them are on the short list of best pitchers in the past 15 years. Like Greinke,
Verlander for one reason above all us. Kate Upton, come on.
Oh, yeah, I agree. If his wife's there, then the manager should give him the nod. Opening day.
I'm mad about them my Dodgers not getting them for many reasons, but number one is Kate.
Yeah, he definitely pulled out of his league on that one. Like
anybody who gets Kate is out. Kate, I'm sorry. Kate Upton talk. I could be here for a while. I might have an autograph on the wall of Kate Upton. Just saying.
All right, on to Kansas City. Left-handed pitcher Danny Duffy's getting the nod on opening day. New manager Mike Matheny told reporters, including Fox 4's Casey Harold Kuntz on July 14th, Brad Keller was last year's opening day starter. He's out indefinitely after testing positive for COVID-19. This will be Duffy's third opening day start. He allowed 1 run in 6 innings on opening day in 2017 and was hammered for 5 runs in 4 innings on open day in 2018. So we'll see how he does. He's going to have to step up with Keller being out. So
2 years ago, he was elite. Not so much elite.
Yeah. Royals, sorry. I think Cleveland's going to take you opening day, July 24th. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. But, yeah, Royals are definitely on the downslope.
Yeah.
All right. On to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Hey, I'm going to need to leave in like a minute because I'm going to start. I'm going to continue this conversation over there. Do you want to come over?
Oh, no, I didn't even see the time.
Okay.
Actually, we'll pick up this conversation next week. I got through not even close to half, so we'll pick this up on the next one. I'll probably have more information next week too.
I know you said you weren't going to be able to come, and I want to respect your time, but I'm loving this. But so I'll just sit. So you're going to continue this next week? Are we ending here?
Yeah, we'll continue this next week.
Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to close up the show right here and right now. But is that me? What's going on?
I think so.
Is that me?
Yeah, that was you picking up a little background from some window that opened up, one of the ads popping up, I think.
Yeah, something popped up on one of the windows. Well, we're going to be out of here in a minute. Listen, subscribe to the channel, Bush League Baseball, me and Bill and the other Bill who's just in chat today, but he'll be back. He's awesome. He's a Phillies fan. It's fun to make fun of. It'll be a good time. I'm going to go over to my channel, Dole with Dad. We're going to continue this conversation, but I'm going to be talking about the Texas Rangers, and oh my gosh, are you serious? Somebody wants us to change that name. That's going to be the main topic, and we'll stick around for a while. So for Bill, who's not here, for Bill, who is here, and for me, I'm not Bill. Get here. By the way, when you talk about that, take 30 seconds. Is that the Rocket?
I got the 1983 University of Texas Roger Clemens.
Dude, that is
jersey on. Found it in a bin in my garage last week, and I had to wear it.
Your bins in your garage are better than my bins in my garage. That is awesome. I hope you guys had fun this week. I did. If you want some more, we're going to talk baseball. He's got to get up early tomorrow. Dole with Dad is my other channel. We're going to be talking about more of this, Texas Rangers, Washington Redskins, stuff like that there. Get over there. Subscribe to Bush League Baseball all over the place. I think that's it. Anyone want to say the peeps before we say goodbye?
Thanks for joining us. That hour went by a lot faster than I thought it was going to. I looked up and you said, oh, yep, time to go. It's 57 minutes. I'm like, oh, wow.
It went fast. It
went by super fast. All right, I can't wait to continue that conversation next weekend.
Perfect. I love it. I love it. And I love you guys in chat. Get over to Dole Dad right now. We'll continue the conversation. Have the best day ever. See you soon.